Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. I'm Tommy D. I'm here along with Johnny Lowe. We're talking the Belmont, the 152nd running of the Belmont Stakes, and it's going to be an interesting one that we've never seen like before, Johnny. The Belmont Stakes here. It is the first part of the Triple Crown. Well, maybe not the Triple Crown, but you know what I'm saying. How you doing, Johnny, first of all?
I'm doing really well, Tommy. Doing good looking at the race. Like you said, it's definitely going to be different. It's going to be a one-turn mile and an eighth. I don't know for sure, but my guess is they left it at a mile and an eighth instead of a mile and a quarter, which is a classic distance because even the mile and a quarter would truly be a one-turn race. So why make these 3-year-olds stretch out too far? Make them – it's going to be one turn. Might as well give them a mile and an eighth to decide it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be different. Some trainers, are looking for that mile and a half race. And, a good example might be Farmington Road in this race that might want more distance here. Not to say that the horse maybe has much of a chance anyways, but some trainers look for the Belmont to run that mile and a half because it's the true test of champions. And that's what makes the Triple Crown. You got to get through the Derby, the Preakness, and then the Belmont. So this year, we're looking at a top contender, Tiz the Law. This horse has been doing nothing wrong in 2020, winning nicely in the Florida Derby. Has won four out of five career starts, Johnny, by constitution. Tiz the Law is the horse to beat here in the Belmont. Is that what you think?
Yeah, we're looking at a horse here that's probably going to be somewhere around 3 to 5, 4 to 5. He's done nothing wrong. He lost one race as a 2-year-old, but he's come back, won the Florida Derby. Really good fashion. The horse sits off the pace. He just takes over whenever he wants, has a really quick turn of foot. The horse is a standout. I think that Tiz the Law is definitely going to be a tough horse to beat. Especially with a first crop sire. First crop sires tend to do pretty well. Bodemeister with Always Dreaming won the Kentucky Derby first crop. We had Uncle Mo with Nyquist won the Derby first crop. So a lot of times those first crops that come out, the breeders find a way to get better broodmares for the stallions, and it pays off for them in these big races because they make a name for themselves and they can raise the stud fees. So I think Tiz the Law he's gonna be a tough opponent. There's gonna be 9 horses going in the gate. I think there's a couple. I don't want to say you could throw them out, but I think I would make them beat me. Max Player with Rice. The horse is working out every couple weeks, not every 7 days. Not really a big fan of the workout pattern, but he's another one with a first crop stallion as well with Honor Code, who's got Honor AP, who just won the Santa Anita Derby. So the sire's been doing really well. I think Farmington Road, who's been he's by Quality Road. His workout partner, Dr. Post, is also by Quality Road. Farmington Road is one that I'm probably going to play against. He's been pretty much the whipping boy for Dr. Post in all the workouts, so I'm going to expect Dr. Post to run a lot bigger race. And then Asmussen put in a horse, Jungle Runner, by Candy Ride. Candy Ride's an amazing sire. You think of Shared Belief, you think of Mastery, Gun Runner, Game Winner. He's Sydney's Candy, Twirling Candy. I mean, incredible feats he's done as a sire, but I think Jungle Runner's just kind of in here to give another betting interest. I don't think he's really going to contend. With that being said, I do think there are a couple horses that could give Tiz the Law a rumble. Tappett's been a really good sire for the Belmont. He's got 3 victories in the Belmont: Tonalist, Creator, and Taproot. He's also got a second with Tacitus, and I want to say he leads in sires in the last 8 years with the last 20 years with 8 runners. Matterhorn ran 8th, Frosted ran 2nd, Lonnie ran 3rd, and Hofberg ran 3rd as well to round out the field of horses that he's had. So even at a mile and an eighth, his progeny have showed that they love Belmont. So I would say Tappet to win is going to be fresh off that big victory he had a couple weeks ago for Mark Cass, who actually won the race last year with Sir Winston. Should be in the mix as well.
Yeah, I kind of like Tappet to win. It's funny you mentioned that, the son of Tappet, trained by Mark Cassie, a great trainer. This horse won its last by 5 lengths at Belmont with Johnny V up. This one also ran a 1:39.76, pretty close to the track record there at Belmont for 1 mile. So this horse familiar with the track, and I believe this is the wise guy's horse is what they're saying right now. Maybe the now horse, if you're looking for a horse to beat Tiz the Law, might be Tap It to Win, Johnny. I do agree with you. They are going to have a tough task beating Tiz the Law here. Very impressive. Barclay tag trains. A regular rider, Manny Franco, expected to be aboard here. Constitution sire. We keep hearing Constitution, pretty strong sire. You mentioned another one, Constitution Quality Road. Both sires that are very hot right now. So interests me. Farmington Road, as you said, Todd Pletcher is Mr. New York. Has won the race 3 times. Maybe not Mr. New York anymore with Chad Brown around, but Todd Pletcher does know how to get it down. Just a max player, 140 days off since its last race is definitely a concern. The honor code, I do like that. The only thing is the owners did win the race with a ruler on ice. With Kelly Breen back in the day. Just a little side note there. Linda Rice does think this horse has grown up, but it's going to be a big, tall task to come up and win first time out against some of these much talented colts that are already in the now, Johnny. So I agree with you on a lot of this. Dr. Post, I do like this horse, 2 for 2. Pletcher, I think you're right. I think that's the stronger Pletcher horse. I think that this one really has a nice shot. What are your thoughts on Dr. Post here?
Yeah, so Dr. Post has a really, really nice pedigree mix. He's by Quality Road. He's out of a Hennessy mare. Hennessy is going to be the Stormcat line, and for whatever reason, the Mr. Prospect just Stormcat line. It's lined up really well. It's given us a lot of winners in the past. I think Dr. Post is probably going to be my second choice, to be honest with you. Tiz the Law might just be a freak. We're not really sure where he's going to top out. I don't think we've seen the bottom of him. It was kind of a slow time that they ran in the Florida Derby, but he did it so easy. He looked so good on the track. There's not going to be any fans in the stands. I don't think there's a whole lot of distractions. If he takes to the dirt, this 1-turn mile mile and an eighth shouldn't be too much for him. Dr. Post's breeding tells me that he's going to get the mile and an eighth. He's probably going to really enjoy it. And even at 1 turn, thinking of horses like City of Light, who won the Pegasus, he won the Breeders' Cup Mile. He was another horse that was by Quality Road, and he didn't seem to phase him whether he was going 1 turn, 2 turns. Based on that, I think that Dr. Post is going to be a really formidable opponent for Tiz the Law. Tap It to Win with his speed. If the track is playing speed favoring, they're going to have to run him down. I think Modernist last time out, 14-hole by Uncle Mo, has some speed. Just didn't work out in his last race, but I think he needs to improve a significant amount to be able to compete with these horses. Although I'm not going to just dismiss a Belmont horse. We saw what Belmont did last year, running second before the DQ in the Derby, and Mott's already won the race with Drosselmeyer, a horse that was by Distorted Humor, out of a Moscow Ballet broodmare. That horse went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic as well. So Mott knows how to train him. Sol Volante is going to be the one that rounds out the field, and Sol Volante just came off an allowance win at Gulfstream Park. He's going to be coming from the back of the pack. I think it's going to be kind of tough for him coming off such a recent race and to ship all the way to New York. You've got a little change in the weather, change in the track. It takes a little while to get your hooves underneath you, if you will, on the ship. So I think if Sol Volante beats me, that's a horse I might have to play against. I think my top 3 are going to be Tiz the Law, Dr. Post, and Tap It to Win. One of the other horses shows up, for example, Max Player, who, like you said, has that 140-something day layoff. He only has 6 works going into the race, and it's once every 2 weeks. I don't really know exactly how fit he's going to be, although this is Linda Rice's backyard. She should know the track a lot better than I do. But I've never had a whole lot of luck with horses that come into a race with limited works going against such a quality field,
Oh, yeah, no, it's thanks for rounding up that. I was going to ask you about a couple of those horses. Sol Volante, like you said, 105 days since its last race. Might need a race here. How do you see the pace in this race setting up, Johnny, if you don't mind me asking that? How do you see this playing out in your head here?
So I think Tappan to win. Obviously, last time he showed he's got plenty of speed. I think he's going to try for the front. And if I'm Asmussen, you got to send one of your horses. I think Pneumatic's going to probably go with him. Modernist didn't do so well trying to come off the pace, so I think he's probably going to try to go up there. And I think Tiz the Law is probably going to sit behind him. You've got some deep closers in this field. They're going to have a little bit more kick at 1 1/8 than with one turn than they would at 1.5 miles with 2 turns. They're probably not going to be as tired coming down the stretch. So this actually benefits the closers, I believe, with this style of race. But I think that Sol Volante, he might be a little far back. Jungle Runner's probably going to come off the pace. Max Player, I think he's going to be back there. And Farmington Road will be back. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do with Dr. Post. I would imagine he'll probably sit with Tiz the Law. And I guess we're going to see how fast they go up front. If they go too fast up front, then they might burn each other out. And I think the horses in the middle group between Tiz the Law and Dr. Post get first run, and they'll probably be pretty hard to catch.
Yeah, with the races being so spread out, Kentucky Derby is not going to be until September now. Gives the horse Tiz the Law a better chance to rest up before the Derby here. We will see how good this horse is. Definitely will have the target on the back. Is the horse to beat going to be going on into the gate as the post-time favorite? No doubt about it, Johnny. So I do agree with you. And I guess we'll see how good Tiz the Law is. But let's talk about the field, though. It could have been much better. We had a couple injuries and also incidents that happened. So Nadal, injury, retirement. Charlton's going to be out. Maxfield, Wells Bayou. All 4 horses that could have made this field a lot more interesting. Government Morris, Chivalry's going to the Bluegrass, both of those horses. New York Traffic to the Haskell. Not a great field, but let's just pretend those 4 horses that I said were going to be in the race. Do you think still Tiz the Law would win this race easily?
I think Tiz the Law is a better horse than the horses that you named. The one horse that's interesting to me, obviously, Nadal was the one making the big pushes. He was the star on Arkansas Derby Day. He beat the best field that day. King Guillermo, their plan with him is to wait until the Kentucky Derby to run and not running any of the prep races to not running this race. I think this would have been a race where, he would have been the horse to beat along with Tiz the Law, and I think you could have got him at a decent price, considering that Tiz the Law is going to take so much action. The bettors backed Maxfield big time, and the Derby pools, they backed him big time on his return. So I think as far as betting interests go, he would have really, really helped this race. Would he have won the race? I highly doubt it. I don't think he would have gotten there, although he's got decent breeding by Street Sense. I think Tiz the Law is really the horse to beat in this crop at this point. Authentic's going to go to the Haskell. You've got Honor AP, who just ran in the Santa Anita Derby. I think they're going to do one prep with him. But I just think it's pretty much right now for Tiz the Law. This is the race that Tiz the Law either needs to win, or it's going to be a beautiful year because we're going to get a lot of prices around the country going into the Derby. It's going to be anybody's game. On the Phillies side of things, it was kind of Venetian Harbors was the favorite in the future polls for the Kentucky Oaks, and it looked like she was going to be the one to rise to the top in their crop. And Swiss Skydiver basically just put the exclamation point in her last race. The only horse that she hasn't ran against is Gamine. Gamine coming off the alleged lidocaine positive. We don't know for sure at this point, but the first test sample, what was leaked, said yes. So we're going to have to see what happens when they face off. But Gamine was nose and nose with the horse that Swiss Skydiver just put away by open lengths. I think that's a horse to keep an eye on. They might get testy with her and throw her in one of these races with the boys and see if they can get some Derby points and stick her in the Derby. I think it's going to be really interesting. Winning Colors was the last horse to win the Kentucky Derby as a filly. And in the Belmont, we've actually had a horse more recent than that with Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches was the was a horse by AP Indy, whose dam was Better Than Honor. Better Than Honor is actually the only dam in the history of all three of the classics to have multiple horses win a classic Triple Crown race. And she did it with Jazeel and Rags to Riches in back-to-back years, which is an amazing feat. You know, you think maybe a stallion like Tappet, who had Creator and Tappet in back-to-back years, but his crops are, let's say, 150 a year. You know, he's got 150 bullets, while a broodmare is shooting one. And it just so happens in back-to-back years, that was the best horse at a mile and a half come June. So we'll see what happens. See if Swiss Skydiver gets into the mix. But for right now, it's really Tiz the Law that's the horse to beat. It's going to be the odds-on favorite. If you play against the horse, I think you're going to get a decent price. If you like one of the long shots that we dismissed and that horse wins, I think you're going to get an excellent price. So hang in there and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, definitely, Johnny. And I do remember that 2007 Rags to Riches. Only 3 fillies have won this: Ruthless, Tanya, and Rags to Riches. That's the Belmont. But you're talking about Swiss Skydiver, the most talented 3-year-old filly out there, possibly maybe taking a shot at the Derby this year. This might be a year to take a shot, is what you're telling me.
Why not? You know, why not? I mean, it's going to be September. The filly's going to – this is the year where you actually have a chance to run the filly in a race like the Travers at a mile and a quarter and see what she's got. She's going to be running against the best males. It's a mile and a quarter. It's going to be Saratoga in the summer. See what she's got. You've got to, you know, it's normal years. To get into the Derby, you'd have to run her in a race that's a mile and an eighth unless you shipped her to Dubai. You don't know what she would do at a mile and a quarter. You don't know how deep some of these races are, the Florida Derby, the Arkansas Derby, the Santa Anita Derby. When we get to the Travers, I guarantee you that field is going to be swollen up with a bunch of the horses from each coast that are going to go in there, and it's going to be a mini Derby.
Yeah.
And so if I'm the connections to Swiss Skydiver and I'm looking at the Kentucky Derby, that's the race I target. I target the Travers. If we win the Travers, you probably have the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. So
Wow.
This is the year that if you're gonna win with the filly, this is the year to do it. You know.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff, Johnny. You know, right now, talking about King Guillermo a little while ago, 90 points right now. So King Guillermo looks like a lock into the Derby already. Tiz the Law's got 122 points leading that Derby push. But to finish up our Belmont conversation, your final thoughts on the Belmont here, what you think is going to happen in this race and how you see it playing out.
I see Tiz the Law doesn't have any distractions. He's been out there. He's working well. The trainer's in love with him. I think that he's the horse to beat. The bettors are going to back him. He's going to be somewhere between 4 to 5, 3 to 5. Some wise guy money might go on another horse and try to stabilize the odds. But if he doesn't run his big race, or if it's not there when they ask the question, I think Dr. Post is my second choice horse. I think Dr. Post is rapidly improving. I think Todd Fletcher definitely knows what he's doing. He's won this race before. And Dr. Post, I think, has some of the better pedigree in this race, especially for this race. So I think Dr. Post would be my second choice. Tap It to Win with Mark Casse. Mark Casse last year won 2 legs of the Triple Crown with 2 different horses. He knows what he's doing going in here. Great trainer. I think his horse is probably third choice. And then after that, it's you know, how much can Pneumatic hang on? Will Max Players, Sol Volante, will they close? I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens there. I'm sure it's going to be interesting when they hit the stretch and the money's laid down on the table.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Belmont Stakes, always one of my favorite races. Not the most exciting field, but I agree with you 100% on everything you said. Tiz the Law, definitely the horse to beat. Target on the back. We'll find out if this 3-year-old is as good as we think it is. With this year having a couple ups and downs in a weird year, 2020, a lot of weird things going on, Johnny. Nothing would surprise me this year. So the Belmont Stakes, Tiz the Law, Dr. Post, and Tap It to Win, a couple horses underneath to look at, maybe to take a shot there. That's what we think here on the Hip Horse YouTube. Anything else you'd like to add, Johnny, before we get out of here?
And one positive is we're starting to see fans at some tracks around the country. We've got Lone Star Park, Delta Downs. There was a track in Oklahoma. I saw some fans. So hopefully this steam ball keeps rolling, and when Del Mar and Saratoga start up, you know, we can get a few people out there to watch those beautiful races at those legendary racetracks.
Yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. I was thinking the same thing. Of maybe we could get a couple days in at Del Mar. Originally, I was saying, man, we're not even going to be able to go to Del Mar. It's right there, and we can't even go. But it looks like things are on the up, so we got to stay positive. And, you know, thanks for watching, everybody. If you do like this video, please like and subscribe. More information coming for you. Triple Crown, we'll be talking more Derby, stakes races, the hip horse. We're here for you. So have a good day. Enjoy the Belmont, everyone. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.